This episode is brought to you by FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Join host Evan Ross Katz on the official podcast for FX's new series, Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, and go behind the scenes with cast and special guests, featuring Sarah Pigeon, Paul Anthony Kelly, Grace Gummer, and Naomi Watts. FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, wherever you listen to podcasts.
What up? It's interview style, and we're talking about whatever we want to talk about. Today we're talking about movie advice. Iris, is there any movie advice that you've gotten, one character imparting to another, or just general wisdom that you took from a movie that you use in your everyday life?
Well, you've definitely drilled some movie advice into my mind from from the Or Whatever Movies intro.
Yeah.
What you feel only matters to you. I think I referenced that in an interview I did about the Powers of Darkness podcast, available at orwhatevermovies.com, wherever you get podcasts. Don't do drugs. Where's that from?
It's from a couple of sources. I like it from City Slickers. The guy goes into the classroom and talks to the kids about the 2,000-pound goddamn crane that falls on the lady's legs, and he uses his superhuman strength to lift it off the legs. And that's like his parent. And then Mitch, his kid, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, is ashamed that he's like a radio ad airtime seller guy. But everyone cheers for the construction guy. And he's like, that's it. That's what I do. Don't do drugs. And everyone's like, yay. And then Frances McDormand in Almost Famous sets her kid off to a concert in San Diego, sees him off out of the car, and she can't resist yelling at him, don't do drugs, in front of all these kids who are probably doing drugs, and embarrasses the hell out of him.
Oh, awkward.
But still, it's good advice.
Yeah, in
What's
general.
What's it going to add to your life if they're not medically prescribed?
In general, I didn't, nor do I do drugs. But I have had people question that in our intro, like, why don't do drugs? Probably because they like to partake in some recreational drugs, but that's all good. I just like
the message.
I have, it's not a bad message, Wes. You could be like a DARE spokesperson. Do they still do DARE?
You know that one is like kind of regarded as a joke now. That was put in place by Nancy Reagan, and by all accounts, it didn't really work.
DARE didn't work?
Yeah, it brought all kinds of awareness or whatever. It's drug abuse resistance education, and supposedly it did not work, at least in curbing addiction rates or drug-related overdose deaths or whatever. It didn't work.
Maybe it was like drug acquisition and reclaiming education or something. Anyway.
Sure.
Is there movie advice? Have I gleaned advice from movies? I think that movies more reinforce existing beliefs that I hold. Like when a character says something that I agree with, I'm like, yeah, exactly. And one movie that comes to mind is my favorite, possibly of all time, The Hangover. Can you guess what advice I might have taken from The Hangover? It's not a catchphrase or like a key quote.
The Wolfpack ethos?
You guys ready to let the dogs out? No, Wolfpack ethos. Wow.
Yeah, this idea of...
The lovable jerk character, Phil, says in the movie probably half a dozen times. I should go in and actually do like an audit, like an official count. But he says to Stu, to Alan, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. And I say that to my girls all the time, like maybe almost every day. Like, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to figure it out. We always figure it out. I don't think it's magical thinking or overconfidence. I think it's true. Like, isn't that what every day kind of is? It's about figuring it out.
You know what this is? This is practically applying some kind of movie quote or something to your actual life. Seems like a sign of intelligence to me. What you're saying basically is we don't have all the answers, and it's okay to not have all the answers. Probably more commonly than not, you're not going to have all the answers, and thus you can give yourself time to figure it out, to learn about it, to understand better, become more informed and make a decision based on that, which I think is absolutely stellar advice.
Oh, and when you put it in that context, it's so nice.
It's different from my favorite advice,
Which is?
but that's a really good one. The one that I love is you must never hesitate. And that comes in a few different forms. That direct quote comes after Sean Connery threw a knife into a dude's head in The Rock.
Yeah.
The idea is that, when the dude pulls the gun, you must kill that dude immediately or be killed. I also like the one in Die Hard where the guy's got John McClane under a table and she's shooting at him, and John McClane is scrambling under the table. And the dude says, because a second ago the tables were turned and John McClane had a gun to his head, and he says, "Hey, pal, next time you have a chance to kill somebody, don't hesitate." So John McClane shoots him through the table and says, "Thanks for the advice."
Whoa.
Spoiler.
Gruesome.
Yeah. And then my other favorite is The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, where Tuco Benedito Pacifico Juan Maria Ramirez, known as the Rat, catches a dude monologuing.
Also the ugly.
Yeah. Who comes at him with a gun and starts monologuing, and Tuco then shoots him. And he says, "When you're to shoot, shoot, don't talk." And I like this idea because in a world where decisions have to be made, whether you're home, whether you're on the road, whether you're dealing with an online auction, too many times, if you wait, you're not going to get that opportunity again. In particular, I'm thinking of Kelly Ray and some of the jewelry and some of the craft kind of stuff. She likes some of this stuff.
She's been collecting.
Yeah, it's limited to one in the entire world. And if you put something in your cart and you're like, "Oh, I'll get it later, or let me think about it," that's going to be gone. Her personality is such that if it is gone, maybe that's okay. That is not the way my personality is. I have anguished for years over things that are now gone because she didn't pull the trigger. So when it comes to me, I figure you must never hesitate. If there is a thing you want, you get it immediately before your chance is lost. The real world application is probably something akin to royal mummies, where if you're in Egypt and there's an opportunity to see the royal mummies, but it costs a little bit extra, and you're like, I don't know if $30 is worth it, which for Egyptian money in US dollars is exorbitant. But the chances of me going all the way back there and seeing those royal mummies is almost non-existent. That's never going to happen. So you pay the stupid money, you go see the royal mummies, and you can say you did it instead of, "Oh, I could have seen Ramses II's corpse, but I didn't because it cost $30. The $30 you just spent on Chipotle."
Those are great examples of never hesitating and very specific movie ones. It's interesting, too, that you've got multiple examples because I think that my second one is also very similar to "We'll figure it out." Phil's infamous last lines, "We'll figure it out." And that is, life finds a way. And I think we maybe glom onto similar messages because they are our own personal mantras.
It is what we can do with the time that is afforded us. That's a quote. I forget what it's from. And then there's keep off the moors. Do you know that for my entire life, I have successfully avoided the moors of England?
I mean, that's just good advice.
That's what I'm saying. But like bears, they're like, "Oh, keep a respectful distance from bears, including black bears." You know that no one has ever been killed by a black bear in Yosemite National Park's history as a national park?
That's good.
But they'll tear you up, so the rangers yell at you if you get too close to the bears. I have gotten too close, because given the opportunity, I'm going to pet that bear. And if I go to England and if I see moors, I'm going on the moors.
So it's like counter advice?
Yep. But I mean, also if I have terminal cancer or something that I can't get out of, let's do heroin.
As far as the moors go, I'll contradict myself and say you kind of can't help but be on moors at some place or point in England. Like it's kind of all Moorish.
Okay. Moors, that's like a bucket list thing though. Do you understand what you feel only matters to you really means?
I also believe that in this life we are alone, like Stephen King says in Dance Macabre.
Wow.
And that any connection we have is an illusion, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't enjoy the illusion while it lasts.
I think the problem with that quote is it doesn't contain the rest of the quote. Like, the customer is always right. No, damn the hell they aren't. The full quote is customer is always right, especially in matters of taste. And because as the customer service person, you can't account for that person's taste. So they're going to be right as far as their taste is concerned, but that is not a blanket truth. In the case of my quote, what you feel only matters to you. The continuation is, it's how you treat the people you say you love that counts. So if you do something terrible to a person because you felt like it would make you feel good, that's crappy. The way you feel only matters to you, and you have to show people respect and kindness and consideration if you're going to get through the world. If you expect people to show up on your behalf. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you need to do something. That only matters to you, and what matters is how you treat the people around you. But generally, distilled down, it's also like, quit blubbering because I don't want to hear it. You're only sad in your mind, and I don't need to deal with your bullshit.
On that note,
thanks, love you, see you next time.
Today is working for me. Do you believe that for yourself? Hey, I'm Pastor Julie, and I want to empower you through encouragement. Inviting you to my podcast, Big Truth Encouragement, where I unpack living a faith-filled life. I created my podcast for the ladies, but gentlemen, you'll gain something too. So I invite you to listen to Big Truth Encouragement on Electricast and any platform where you listen to your podcast.
Electricast. Electricast.